Good morning, students. Good morning to all. So, on last day, we have studied about the market structure and the pricing. So, what are the markets are there and the structure of the market and how the pricing and the commodities in this market are going to fix it. So, today also just we will remind what we have studied on last day and we will go to the next concept. The market structure and the pricing. So, normally we will think the meaning of market. So the word, the market, in normally we will say it refers to a physical place where the commodities and services are bought and sold. But in the economy, the term market refers to a system of exchange between the buyers and sellers of a commodities. In the economy, the market refers to a system of exchange. So between the buyers and sellers. So without mentioning any of the physical place, if there is the function exchange function is going on between the buyers and the seller, so it is considered as a market. So now the share market and the online market, e-market, different type of the markets also is there. So and the features of market. So the buyer and sellers of a commodity are a service. So if you are considered the market function is going on mean, so the buyers and seller of a commodity are a services must be existing. So next, a commodity to be bought and sold. So here are in a market, the commodity must be bought and sold. So next, the price agreeable to buyer and seller. If the commodity is going to sales, the price is going to fixed by the buyer or the seller, but it will be the agreeable to the both the buyer and seller. Next, direct and indirect exchange. So normally, if some of the market, the commodity, the exchange functions will be happen as directly. Sometimes it will be indirectly. So in this online market and so many of the markets are there. So here the exchange activities will be functioning as indirectly. So next we have studied the classification of market. So we can classify the market on the basis of areas four types. The local market. So in this local market, the product is going to produced within the boundaries or within the particular place, and the produced product also will be going to sell within the same areas. For example, the vegetables in these rural areas. Some of the rural vegetables and the fruits are going to cultivate within the rural, and the market is also will be available. The produced commodities will be going to sell within the same place among the producers. Next, provincial market. Provincial market means the regional market. The regional market means some of the product will be produced in any of the places, but in the sales will be happens. The produced product will be come to or will be happen within the particular region only. For best example is the newspaper. So some of the newspaper is going to sell, but all the newses will be happen what was happened in the same district only. So next is the national market. So the national market mean some of the product is going to produce within the boundaries of geographical, or the geographical boundaries are the political boundaries within one nations. If any of the product is going to produced and the product is consumed by the same nation itself is considered as a national market. Next, international market. So here the product produced is going to consumed by the another one of the nations. So product will be happen within the one nations, and the sales of that commodities will be happen beyond the particular boundaries, and the another nations also is considered international market. So next, on the basis of time. So on the basis of time also we have classified the market. So on the basis of time means here the time is refers to the nature of the factors. So nature of the factor means such as the variable factor and the fixed factor. We have studied four factors. So land, labor, capital, organizations. So here the land and the organizations may be considered as a fixed factor. So labor and capital may be considered as a variable factors. The two factor can easily change. It will be variable within the short period or the long period or very short period. Okay, but the fixed factor will never change within the particular period. Okay, so on the basis of the nature of factor only, here the time is going to consider. Okay, so now the very short period market. So very short period market mean, for example, the weekly market. So the supply of the commodities will not be extended within the particular period by using or by changing the any of the factor, the variable factor and the fixed factor. So next is short period market. So in here some of the supply of commodities will be extended slightly by using the variable factor only. So next, long period market. So here we can extend the supply of commodities on the basis of increased demand for the commodities by changing the four type of the factors, the variable factors and the label factors. Next, very long period. So the very long period will be occurs when the entire economy undergoes a drastic change. If our society is going to become as a drastic change, so new type of the technologies are introduced and most modern products are produced. So several newer methods of productions are adapted in the production process. So totally and the taste and the preference of the consumers itself will be changed. So all over the factors has to be changed on the basis of the secularisms. So for example, the arrival of the pen drive has driven out the compact disc, CD and DVD players. So next, newly, so we will study it on the basis of the quantity of the commodities. So on the basis of the quantity of the commodities, we can classify the market as a two types. First one is wholesale market and the retail market. So wholesale market is a market where the bulk selling and buying of goods will be there. So if any of the wholesaler are going to purchase from the producers or any retailer are going to purchase any of bulk amount of the commodities from the seller or the wholesaler, is considered as a wholesale market. So the price is likely to be low compared to the retail market. So when we are purchasing any of the commodities in this wholesale market, so the price of the commodities may be very low. So next, retail market. So the retail market is for selling or buying of commodities in small quantities. If any of the retailer are going to sell the commodities within the small quantities to the consumers, it is called retail market. So when we are comparing to the price of that commodity will be very higher than the wholesale market. So on the basis of quantity, we can classify the market as a two types, wholesale market and retail market. Next, on the basis of competitions. Now the competition is very much important to construct the or efficient the market. So first one is the perfect competitions market. So the perfect competitions market mean, so it is on the basis of the competitions or the same type of the commodities. So in this perfect competitions, the large number of buyers and sellers will be there, and every sellers will be selling the homogeneous product. And if any of the persons can easily come and go, and the absence of transport costs will be there. So normally the perfect competitions prevails when the demand for the output of each producer is perfectly elastic. Normally if any of the product has more demand or highly demanded, so the perfect competition market will be appear automatically. So mostly on the time of festival, so the perfect competitions will be appear wherever they want to do. So next, imperfect competitions market. So imperfect competitions market means, so not only on the festival time or the seasonable time, so the imperfect competitions always will be in the market. So this imperfect competitions market always classified are the four types. First one is monopoly market. So monopoly market means the mono means single, poly means seller. The single seller only will be there. The single seller only will be there. Next, monopolistic market. The monopolistic market means so the monopolistic same level only. So different type of only single line of the product only will be going to sell by the producers. So monopoly means the only one seller will be there, but he can able to produce or more commodities. Monopolistic means a single line of product only will be produced and will be going to sell. Next, duopoly. Duopoly means so two sellers will be there. Two sellers will be there. Next, oligopoly. Oligopoly means the single sellers will be there. Single sellers will be selling different type of the commodities or the same type of the commodities. Next, the firm and industries. So when we are going to study the market structure, before that we have to consider the meaning of firm and industries. So a firm refers to a single production unit in an industry. So producing a large or a small quantum of a commodity or a services and selling it a price in the market. Its main objective is to earn a profit. So there may be other objectives as described by the managerial and behavioral theories of the firm. So if you are considering the firm, so single the single unit of a industries, a single production unit of the industries. For example, if any of the cement factories are there in Nellai or any of the district, we can say as a firm. Next, the industries. So an industry refers to a group of firms producing the same product or services in an economy. For example, a group of firms producing cement is called a cement industry. If any of the company only is producing cement, that is called the firm. The Sankar Cement is there. The Sankar Cement company only is considered as a firm, the cement firm. And the industries, the whole all over the Tamil Nadu or all over the India, how many cement companies are there? The firm, every firm is also considered as a industry. So next, equilibrium conditions of a firm. So equilibrium conditions, already we have studied the equilibrium conditions. The equilibrium of the firm means that the firm reaches the maximum profit. So all the producers want to get the maximum profit. So when the producers are being in a maximum profit, we can say the producers are being in the equilibrium or the firms are being in the equilibrium. Now there are two approaches are there to calculating the maximum profit. First one is total curve approach. Total curve approach means the cost curve and the revenue curve. The total cost curve and the total revenue curve. So when we are considering the total cost curve and the total revenue curve, we can calculate the measuring of the, measuring the profit. So first the total curve approach. So in this total curve approach, profit is obtained by a firm through the difference between the total cost and the total revenue. So here the two type of the curves are going. So first one of the curve is starting from the origin, that is called the total revenue, and one of the curve is starting by the distance from the origin, it is considered as a total cost curve. So here what is the or in which ratio the difference are there between the total cost and the total revenue, we can consider the profit. So the equilibrium is obtained at the point where maximum difference between the TC and TR occurs. So here the two type of the cost curves are moving from these two origins. but where the maximum difference are there between the total cost and the total revenue at point is considered as a equilibrium point or the maximum profit level. So here the difference, the total curve is going from here and the total curve is going from here. So here in the point of n, the company will be in the equilibrium because the most expected gap is there in this point of n and e. Okay, so for the cost to producing some unit of commodity, the functions the firm have to be spend 45 units or the 45 rupees, just simply if we want to say. And after that, so the total revenue is going to increase from the 45 to 75. So but the total cost is just 45 only, but the total revenue is 75. So where the gap between are there from the 45 to 75, the 35 rupees or the 35 percentage are increased from the point N to point E. So the between gap from the N to E of the TC and TR is considered as a equilibrium conditions or the maximum profit level. This TCTR method is not generally adopted in the calculation of maximum profit. Hence, to calculate profit or loss, some of the economists advised the MCMR approach. MCMR approach means marginal cost and marginal revenue approach. Now here we understand. So within the first output, when they are using the 1 unit of output by using some of the cost. So after that, within the point 5, so after this the second unit and third and fourth unit also, the equilibrium or the cost or the producers will have the possibilities to get the profit. But where they are going to maximum profit means in the point of E. In the point of E mean when he is going to 50 unit. But in these 2 to 4 also he is will be in the equilibrium or will be in the profit. But in the point of output, the point of unit 5, he will be earning more profit because the gap between the TC and TR is very much on the point N to E only. So the producers or the firm will be in the maximum profit on the particular line. So after that particular line, if the producers want to increase the product, so the total revenue will be decrease. Okay, so it will be come to one decrease till he can able to increase the 0.8. So after the 0.8, if he is continues their production, the total revenue will come to an end or it will be reduced. So next the marginal curve approach, marginal cost approach. So in this approach, the following conditions are the two conditions are to be verified to obtain equilibrium of a firm. So when we are studying the profit, when we are calculating the profit of the firm by using the marginal curve approach, the two types of the conditions are to be verified. So what are the conditions means? First, the MC is equal to MR. MC is equal to MR means the marginal cost. So the cost must be equal to the revenue. So the marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue. Marginal revenue means, so we have missed I think. So the additional last unit of revenue. So when we are adding up the input on the basis of last input, how much amount of output, that is the revenue is coming, that is that called marginal revenue. So here we have to considering the two conditions. First one is the AR, sorry, the MC is equal to MR. So it is the cost curve. The MC is must be equal to the MR. So here in this 2 point, the A and B, in this A and B also, the point A and B always is equal to the MR. So in this 2 point, MC will be equal to the MR. So when we are following the hypothetical situation, so normally a rational seller will not be in equilibrium at output level 1. See here, when they are going to when the producers are producing the 1 unit of output, he will be in equilibrium. Equilibrium means he will get some of the profit. Okay, but as a rational consumers, as rational producers will never stop the output level within the point 1 itself. So through MC is equal MR at the point here, this line is considered as the marginal revenue curve. Okay, so here the marginal revenue curve and the marginal cost curve always will be equal only, but even though he will get some of the profit, he will never stop at the point. So his profit increases. So when he produces an output beyond 1 unit till they reaches 5 units, so the marginal revenues are going to increase. So marginal revenues are going to decrease at first. After that it will be increase. Okay. So he will be increase the production level till the 0.5. So the advantages for the producers to continue his productions. Again, he will not be in equilibrium beyond 5 units of Q. When his marginal cost will be increased. So the marginal cost has to be decreased and the marginal revenues will be increased. Okay, so even within the low marginal cost, if he is get the maximum profit, but whenever the cost is going to decrease, the marginal revenues also will be the equal. Okay, but within the low cost of production, the producers can able to get some of the revenue. But after this point unit, if he want to increase the production, the marginal cost will be increase. Okay, it will be never equal to the revenue, but the loss will be appear. So from this every point the loss will be increase. So if he is increasing the 50 unit, the loss will be increase. So like that, whenever he is going to increase the production level beyond the 50 unit, the cost will be increase. Again, but at the last level point B, if he is increased the production, he will get the loss only. So next, so the MC cuts MR curve from the below. So the marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue is the sufficient level or not the sufficient level, it is the necessary level. Okay, so see the marginal cost and marginal revenue is also will be the same. So if it is equal to if the marginal revenue is equal to the marginal cost only, he will get some the little bit of the profit. So it is the necessary things, but it is not a sufficient conditions, as the producers always want to earning the more profit. So another one of the conditions also have to be happens. That what the conditions mean, the marginal cost curve cuts the marginal revenue curve from the below. See, this marginal cost curve is going to cut from below. So marginal cost curve cuts the marginal revenue curve from the below. So what's the meaning is that means, so the marginal cost is always reached. So the marginal cost is decreased and it is going to increase upon the particular time. So a firm under imperfect competitions focus declining price line. So the marginal cost is U-shaped and it cuts MR and 2 points, both from above and both from below. So the marginal cost curve, this is the marginal cost curve. This curve is cuts above from the MC curve and it will be cuts the MR curve from below. So in this first cut, the MC cuts cut above the first cuts, the MC is cuts above from above and it is cuts from below. So first cut from above is not a necessary point. So it is the necessary point. It will be started. This is meant to be the starting point. After that, the marginal cost curve is cuts the MR curve from below is fulfilled. At the point P, so the maximum equilibrium level is going to fulfill. So when we are considering the MC curves or the marginal curves approach, we can calculate the profit. Okay, student, I think it's enough. If you have any doubt, please ask me. Thank you.